everybody. Happy Monday. Hello, Sushi Crew. Good to see you all. This is when it's an early in the evening kind of live stream. It won't be as long as it usually is. But I also have the gift of it being earlier. So if we really get into discussing something and we want to spend more time on it, we can, because it's not going to be 3 o'clock in the morning. So yay. I hope everybody had a good Monday. I had a kind of a busy one, but not anything bad. I did lose my wedding band. I have the ring, just don't have I have my engagement ring. I don't have the band. So when I get off this, I got to go look for it again and then never wear it again until I find a solution. So there's a little bit of flustering in my voice. That's what it is. But I know I'm going to find it because it's in the house. So that's a good part. That's a good part. We don't have any little people that eat stuff. My dog doesn't eat stuff. So there you go. So I wanted to start off tonight really quickly talking about Jennifer Kesse. Now, I know that it's been discussed on Web Sleuths, and Jennifer Kesse's father has been a guest of Trisha Griffiths before. And what I'm bringing you tonight isn't necessarily new news, but I want to bring it to the forefront of your mind again. So there is a podcaster from Fox that has kind of reconstituted this case and put it back on the map. It's 15 years old. Jennifer Kesse disappeared out of Orlando back in, now you're going to make me do the math, 2006. Let me just double check that, because you know me and dates, and I just looked at it. So it's just one of those things. Let's see. Yep. January 23rd, 2006. So she was single, and she had purchased her first home. It was a condominium being built near a like a very fancy mall in our area. It's called the Mall of Millennia. And in that mall, you have everything from Urban Outfitters to Tiffany and Company, Louis Vuitton, Chanel. Like it's a shopping destination, and it's a nice area. But it was still, when she bought her unit, it was still the surrounding units were still under construction, and she had a lot of concerns about people entering her condominium with a work order without, notifying her first, workers watching her, those kind of things. So I won't retell the whole story here tonight, but basically after she disappeared, we find out that the developers of her condominium complex had hired a lot of undocumented workers to do construction, and in exchange for their work, maybe they got some money, but in exchange for their work, they were also allowed to live in the surrounding units, the unoccupied units. So when she disappeared, and we're trying to take a catalog of who was there, who was working, they don't have that, because they didn't have, I-9s on file with their social security card or their green card or their driver's license or their birth certificate or anything like that. So that made it very, very difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share a clip with you, and then I'll come back and check the chat, because I want to see what you guys are saying, as always. And the other thing I want to kind of touch upon is, I want this to be, I mentioned the other night that I was struggling with addressing the chat, and maybe somebody listening on the replay and finding that to be, hard to listen to. So I want this to be more interactive. So I am going to, when I come back, I'm going to put a link in the chat. If you guys have something to say, please feel free to click that link and join me up here. You don't have to show your face. You can use an avatar. That's not going to bother me at all. But I think it's just easier for people to re-listen. And plus, I want to get to know you better. I mean, some of you I know really well over the years, but some of you just don't. And I want to build that rapport with you. And just know that if you're new here, I'm non-judgmental about your comments. I like hearing everybody's opinion. I mean, there are certain things like, we're not going to do hate speech or anything like that. I don't deal in gossip. But other than that, if you have an opinion or that is different than mine, I'm welcoming of that. And this is a place where we openly discuss. We're a true crime discussion channel. I'm not here to solve crimes. I don't have an agenda. I don't have to be right all the time. For God's sakes, I'm wrong a lot. And we kind of keep each other in checks and balances that way. So all that being said, let me go ahead and run this for you real quick. And I got to remember to take myself out. So give me just one moment here.
She disappeared 15 years ago without a trace. Her abandoned car was found a mile away from her condo in Orlando. Her family still holding out hope for closure.
And for the very first time since her disappearance, Kessie's family says they are feeling optimistic thanks to a podcast. Fox 35's Holly Bristow spoke with the host of that podcast, as well as Kessie's father.
It's been extremely tough. It doesn't get any easier, obviously. Jennifer started when she was 24, and she's going to be 40 years old this year.
15 years now come and gone since Jennifer Kesse vanished without a trace. At this milestone,
this is the most encouraged that I've heard you sound.
Yeah, I agree. We're doing the things that need to be done.
Drew Kesse telling me things are heating up in the search for his daughter. He's crediting a Fox News true crime podcast.
We saw a struggle in the car.
In House of Broken Dreams, we track down new leads.
Hello?
It's Christina Corbett. Uncover evidence and hear from sources who've never spoken before.
It's phenomenal. And because of the podcast, we've had a few more leads come in.
Over 11 episodes, host, investigative reporter Christina Corbin digs into the 16,000 pages of case files.
There was a treasure trove of evidence in there that I'd never heard about.
Corbin retracing the investigation from day one.
It really took many months of research and original reporting and working sources, trying to track down persons of interest.
Starting at Jennifer Kesse's Orlando condo, her last known location, talking to workers. Continuing to a complex a mile away where Jennifer's black Chevy was found abandoned.
When investigators arrived on the scene, they immediately noted in their report that it looked like someone had been pushed across the hood. And that's a detail that I don't think any of us knew, not even the Kesse family, until now, 15 years later.
One episode centers around a woman who lived near Jennifer at the time. She reported seeing a car just like Jennifer's swerving, as if the driver was involved in a struggle around the time Jennifer would have been leaving for work the very morning she disappeared.
They let the people tell their story in their own words. And to me, it's one of the best pieces ever done for Jennifer. I think it's coming up on 2 million streams.
People who remained in the shadows for years now stepping forward. Drew Kesse tells me he's adding 3 new private investigators to his team to track down the leads revealed because of the podcast.
That brings me a tremendous satisfaction to know that as a reporter, I've used this enormous platform to help this family get answers about what happened to their daughter. And at the very least, Drew and Joyce Kesse deserve to have answers.
Honestly, I have great hope that really by the end of the year, we truly might know where Jennifer is, or the true direction in which we have to fight to get her.
Dead or alive, he remains determined to bring his daughter home. Holly Bristow, Fox 35 News.
Okay, so there you go. Again, I'm going to share something else with you. I'm going to show you so that you can recognize it, whether you do Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, just so you recognize the podcast. It's highly recommended. I saw Insightful one of our fabulous
It is
mods.
the new major
Whoa,
concern in the COVID.
How rude. Hold on one second. So it looks like this. The House of Broken Dreams, the Jennifer Kessie story. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it at this link. And I did put this link in the description. It's already there. So if you drop off right now because you just have to listen, it's there for you. It's in a lot of places, iHeartRadio, Spotify. I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer for you because it's good. And it is a Fox News Investigates production. So it is very well researched, very well produced, and I highly, highly recommend it. Give me 1 second.
Called Jennifer's phone. It went immediately to voicemail.
Nobody can get a hold of Jen.
This morning, investigators in Orlando are trying to track down a missing woman.
24-year-old Jennifer Kesse disappeared on January 24th, 2006.
There is no blood in that car, no blood on the street, no blood in her apartment.
Tonight, police want to get a closer look at some surveillance videos.
When the photo was released, I was like, that is him.
We saw a struggle in the car.
In House of Broken Dreams, we track down new leads.
Hello?
It's Christina Corbett. Uncover evidence and hear from sources who've never spoken before.
We don't care where, when, or how. We simply want our daughter to be found.
Available November 12th on foxnewspodcasts.com and your favorite podcast player.
So there you go. There's that. The one of the reasons I'm bringing this up tonight is because I do have a lot of podcasters and YouTube people that I don't want to say idolize because that sounds fangirlish, but that I highly respect. And if there is a path for me in this community, this is the path that I want to take. And of course, you guys know Trisha Griffith from Web Sleuths is the top of the list. I love Greg Hughes. I love what he does with his freaks for, true crime. And John Lorden is up there for me too. And so today I happened to be scrolling through Twitter and John had put out a post saying, the Kessie family still needs your help. So I've included this in the description too, but I'm going to go ahead and show you right here real quick. I know I'm just sharing. But we have a lot to get through today. So the Kessie family still has a GoFundMe fundraiser. You guys, I don't endorse fundraisers. It is not my thing. You will very rarely see me posting a GoFundMe or anything. It's because in a past life, I supported some things that I found out weren't legitimate, I guess, and got a little in trouble with some people in my chat trying to organize things. And, in YouTube, this is the weirdest thing. I am responsible for the actions of my chat. So if my chat is doing something that looks a little hinky or whatever, and I don't stop it, I don't remove people, which is why we have moderators, I'm held responsible. So, but I am going to say, this GoFundMe is legitimate. They're using this money to do their own investigations, pay for their own services. So, it's here. The most recent update I'll read to you real quick is from July 12th of this year. And it was posted by her father, Drew Kesse, who is the organizer. We, the Kessie family, would like to bring you up to date on our efforts to bring Jennifer home. Since our last update in January, we have been extremely active doing the hard, slow work of combing through all pertinent leads as more come into us. We have been able to close many of them out, but as we do, more avenues of interest open up for us to investigate, which is good. We are able to return to areas of interest to search and clear in hopes of finding Jennifer or any evidence pertaining to her case. These areas include lakes that we have been interested in. We can share with you that they were completely searched by Orange County, Florida dive teams with no positive results. Unfortunately, we have not even stretched the surface of work we need to do, but our team is working hard to methodically examine our priorities. Due to the complexity of Jennifer's case, we can't share everything else at this time other than we are moving forward in a positive, purposeful direction, and we feel we will ultimately get the answers we need to find Jennifer. We thank you for your continued support of our efforts and this campaign. Together, we will bring Jennifer home. Thank you for believing in our challenge, and as a community and country, we can and will find our missing loved ones together. For the public holds the answers and ability to find them all. Jennifer is not alone. May peace be with you, the Kesse family. I'm sorry, you guys. I got chills when I read this one, that last sentence. Thank you for believing in our challenge. And as a community and country, we can and will find our missing loved ones together. For the public holds the answers and ability to find them all. And isn't that the truth? I mean, that's my whole belief system when it comes to true crime. Somebody knows something, and we have to keep talking about it because not everybody pays attention to true crime like we do. Somebody could have some random information and have no idea. It means nothing to them. It means the world to somebody else. And so we just have to keep talking. It's been 15 years. Jennifer deserves to be found. And I encourage you to listen to House of Broken Dreams. It's an amazing podcast. And if you can support this family, you know, if you can't financially, I totally understand. There is you can make a very valuable contribution by just keeping the story alive. More than the money. More than the money. Talk about it. Talk about it. Whenever it comes up, talk about it. You know, if you see a post online, like, share it. Keep this in the forefront because somebody knows something. And it's amazing when I started researching this today, I had no idea that there was a smear, like a smear on the front of Jennifer Kesse's car where maybe she had been thrown against the hood. I had no idea that there was an eyewitness that said that they saw that black car swerving through the parking lot like somebody was forcing them to drive or there was a fight going on. These are details. I live in Orlando. I'm 8 years older than Jennifer Kesse, but I was a single woman. I hadn't met my husband yet. I was a single woman living alone, living a life like she did, and it scared the hell out of me, especially when she wasn't found. And now these new details are coming out. So just, you know, let's play our part as good. I'll use the word that Jenny Penny likes and I don't like, but, you know, maybe I'll make it happen here. Let's be good netizens and keep the conversation going. So it just occurred to me that I come on here every day and I don't tell people who I am, and I get letters like Miss Sushi. My name is Amy, and this is True Crime Sushi, and thank you for being here. I need to get in a better habit of doing that. And so now I'm going to say hi to you guys. So glad that everybody's joining. It's so nice. Let's see. I'm scrolling all the way back up to the top. I see New Zealand Mysteries. I see my sweet friend Ping the Router, Insightful One, Abold. You were a winner from last night, and she emailed me and she got the card, and super fun. And she said, I'm going to treat myself. And I said, good, that's what you're supposed to do. So that made me very happy. Yay. AR Kamari. Hello. You're my, my neighbor. I'll say that. Carolyn Dillman, Rebred, Kathy R, Love My Charlie Faith, Lori Day, Leah Vogel. I get such nice compliments about you, Leah. It's been suggested that I ask you to come up here and talk with me. And I don't know how you feel about that, but you're saying, can you look into the Larissa Sam case? I know you're busy, but please add her to your list if you can. I will write it down now in one of my 100 notebooks. Larissa Sam. Okay, I don't know that case at all, so I will. PJ is here. Candy Williams, Connie, my one flippin' life Shivas girl, you saucy minx. Melanie G. Let's see. I don't know if I got everybody or not. I saw Eric, who I dox all the time. Sorry. Melmac, good to see you. Marigold, Crystal Langford. I hope I got everybody. Oh, Hobby Cat. Yay. Nice to see you. Hobby Cat is one of my sources for very cute pet photos, as is Kathy Lynch. Cat H, hello, hello. Good to see you. Okay, and Debbie Hicks, Jesse Diane Ryan. Gang's all here. Cordy, I don't know if you say that, how to say that, but okay. Athena, good to see you. I love your profile picture, by the way. It reminds me of, like, you're in the hoodie, but it's so small. When I look at it, it kind of looks like you have beads in your hair. It reminds me of, like, the old Cher super glamorous photos. I love it. JGH, hello, hello. Okay, so you know what we have to do for Jennifer Kessie. All those links are in my description. I put them in there before we started. I made sure they were there, because I hate when I say, oh, I'm going to drop something, and then I forget, and then I wake up in the middle of the night, and people in my house are like, what are you doing at 2:30 in the morning? And I'm like, I'm looking for a link I said I'd put there. So I'm trying to takes 30 days to start a habit. I'm trying to get myself in, like, these routines so that this chitty chitty bang bang car runs a little bit more like a well-oiled machine. Because right now I'm kind of like a jalopy, and I really don't want to be a jalopy. I want to be better than that. So, all right. So I saw some people ask me for, or actually ping alerted me that in the chat from last night, or not in the chat, from the comment section from last night, people wanted to talk about Noah Clare and Amber Clare, and I'm here for it. So we're going to do that now. I'll give you a little background on this, because this is a crazy case. I've been trying to get up to speed all day. If there is somebody in the chat that feels like they have a good grasp of the situation and are missing things, please, please, please feel free, because I want this to be, as thorough as we can. So here's the deal. Noah Clare is 3, and he is, I'll get my notes out, because I'll start and then I'll get frustrated because I don't do dates. So hold on. And of course, I don't have them. That's okay. That's okay. Well, I'll make this work. So Noah Clare is 3. He has been missing since, I believe, November 6th. Additionally, his cousin, Amber Clare, is missing. She's 16. And I think the biggest thing in this case is it's a familial abduction. So Noah is abducted by his father, and Noah's father is also Amber's uncle. Okay. They're abducted from 2 separate places. And the biggest thing right now is that he was driving a Subaru Outback. I think in my description I put a different model. And I have to go back and change that, but like a silverish tone Subaru Outback. It has stickers on the back of it. There's a dent in the rear driver's side, so it's kind of an identifiable vehicle because of that. And there is no Amber Alert, and I don't know why. These children are just listed as missing and endangered. We have a vehicle, and we know that someone took these children. So I'm going to go ahead and I need to pull up the article because I had this in my head, and sometimes I get nervous, and I just don't recall things. And then I get off and I can talk your ear off like this. Trust me. I mean, my mom goes to lunch with me and she's like, oh my God, can you just stop? Because I could just rattle it off. But for some reason, when I get her for the screen, I get a little camera shy. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this here. So headline on this article is family frustrated as missing Gallatin child could be in Michigan, police says. So I don't think I shared my screen. No, I didn't. Nope. So let's go and take care of that first. First things first. Do that. And then once I do this, I'll relax a little bit and be able to talk. Okay. Gallatin, Tennessee, WTBF. The Michigan State Police Gaylord Post is involved in assisting two law enforcement agencies in locating an endangered child from Gallatin, but the search has left the family frustrated. Police say 3-year-old Noah Clare is still missing and was abducted by a family member, 32-year-old Jacob Clare of Beaver Dam, Kentucky. Jacob Clare is Noah's father. Jacob Clare has, he's referred to in some of these articles as having custodial rights, but as far as I can tell, he really doesn't. They have a temporary custodial agreement, and at this point in time, he doesn't necessarily have any custodial rights. Noah's mother has 100% custodial rights, and the father, Jacob, has access, visitation to the child every other weekend. So just to be clear, because this is where some of the charges come in, it's not like they have 50-50 custody. Noah does not live with his father. It is strictly a visitation schedule, and it is a temporary agreement. So back to the story. As of Monday, Michigan authorities said that Jacob Clare, Noah, and his niece, 16-year-old Amber Clare, could possibly be en route or in northern Michigan near Harbor Springs. So I know a lot of people had talked about Jacob Clare, the dad. He's kind of he's former military. He's an outdoorsman. He has some survivalist skills. People have been talking about them living off the grid in the Smoky Mountains. The police do not feel that way. This article is only about 5 hours. 4 hours ago. So as of 4 hours ago, they believe they're heading towards Michigan. Now, Amanda, who is Noah's mother, okay, the little baby's mother, the 3-year-old's mother, she dropped off her son with Jacob, Noah's father, for their weekend visit. And everything was business as usual. But the next morning, Saturday morning, about 9:30 in the morning, she gets a call from Amber's parents. So that would be Noah's cousin, saying that Amber was not in her bed. Her bed was kind of stuffed, like when kids sneak out or try to play a trick on you and they put the pillows in the bed. Her bed was stuffed like she was in there, but she wasn't. And there were 2 letters. One was to her sister, and I believe the other one was for her parents. And the letter stated that she was running away. She left her cell phone behind. The parents started going through her cell phone, and unbeknownst to them, Jacob, Noah's father, was having an inappropriate relationship with his niece. And so when they ran away together like lovers, not family members. And that was a huge shock, a huge bomb for everyone. But because of this and the fact that Noah was in Jacob's custody, this alerted the mother, like, oh my God. So she starts calling her ex-husband, the father of her child, saying, just trying to figure out what's going on, where they are. And he's not answering. She's trying on social media. She's, trying his phone. She's trying email. He's just not responding. It is important to tell you that in the midst of this story, Amber, the 16-year-old, she leaves a note for her sister. And the note is heavily redacted, but there are some things that you can see. And she tells her sister that, she's running away. She knows it's going to be hard. And even goes as far to say to her sister, like, listen, if it gets too hard for you and it makes you feel better, you can have like a little funeral for me. You can have a grave for me. That way, that, I'm gone and whatever. She left her sister a box of things, mostly having to do with Jacob, their uncle. It was this cologne and some weird things like this. I don't know how long this relationship had been going on, but that's deeply disturbing. So it seems like the three of them, Noah, Amber, and Jacob, the dad and the uncle, have gone off to live this life. And, I guess you could say the 16-year-old went willingly. I don't believe that 16-year-olds have the capacity to make those decisions. And there's a lot of extenuating circumstances going on here because that is her uncle. But Noah had no choice in this. So Noah, if at least one person has been kidnapped. By my standards, it's two. So I think he's going to have some other charges coming down the line. But I guess the best way to sum this up is that Jacob is trying to go somewhere and act like they're a family, which is completely effed up, in my opinion. So, but now we'll get back to the article. Okay, so let's see. Michigan authorities said that Jacob Clare, Noah, and his niece, 16-year-old Amber Clare, could possibly be en route or in northern Michigan near Harbor Springs. Beaver Dam Police Department Lieutenant Tommy Phelps submitted the facts of the case to Kentucky State Police, noting Jacob Clare purchased the car they were last seen in Tennessee. Police said it's believed Jacob Clare left Ohio County, Kentucky, either late November 5th or early November 6th. Was en route to Gallatin to drop off his son Noah with family, and he never showed. He has a ton of family and friends up in Michigan on both sides of the family, Noah Clare's mother, Amanda Ennis, said. His entire side of the family is in Michigan. Her mom, Jamie, is from Michigan, so just a lot of contacts up there. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, we've heard of them quite a few times recently, the TBI, has issued an endangered child alert for the 3-year-old who has been missing from Gallatin since Saturday. Ennis said she's frustrated it hasn't risen to the level of an Amber Alert. I am too. The family has witnessed 3 Amber Alerts happen in the past few days. Each time it's happened, those children are found within hours, the family said. It makes me mad. It makes me sad. Angry, frustration because of both of them, Amanda Ennis said. There should be an Amber Alert for both of them. The fact that it's not, it's just Jake is taking them further and further away as each day goes by. I think the laws, the statutes for an Amber Alert need to be changed immediately. It goes on to say, the family is further frustrated police haven't sought an Amber Alert for Amber because Phelps said She willingly left. In the notes to her family, Phelps said Amber Clare iterated she was going on an adventure. She's now classified as missing and endangered, Phelps said. I know for Kentucky, they're not issuing an Amber Alert up there, Noah's uncle Adam Ennis said. There's 3 criteria that were met here and 3 that were met here. I think they meant there and here. I feel that somehow they need to be able to merge these together to get some sort of criteria, because if they did that, all 4 would be met. For this situation, the bureaucracies are getting in the way right now. But Phelps said for an Amber Alert to take place, it has to be an abduction. The leads are frustrating, Phelps said. Some of them were promising, but nothing has come out of them. She's been updated from missing to missing and endangered because she's epileptic and she did not bring her medicine. There has to be some change in the facts in the case for it to be an Amber Alert. I don't know if you guys can see me getting tense as I read this. Anyone for information is asked to call the Gallatin Police Department, 615-452-1313. And I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to pull up their poster because I thought I had it up and I don't. So, I'll do this real quick and then I'm going to check in on you guys, I promise. There's a couple and they're all good. So I'm going to show you all of them. I hate it when I click on something and then it's not there. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to do it like this. We all Google search. We know how it goes. I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm doing is sharing my screen. So here we go. All right. So we have this one. This is Amber Clare. She's 16 years old, 5'7", 140 pounds, green eyes and dirty blonde hair. She's been missing since 9:30 p.m. on November 5th. To her right, we have Noah, who is 3. He's 3 foot 5 inches, 40 pounds, blue eyes, brown hair, last seen in gray pants, camo shirt, black jacket, black shoes. They are with Jake Clare. Jake is the father to Noah and the uncle to Amber. And apparently they also have a relationship. Jake is 35. He's 6 foot 6 inches tall. He's extremely tall, noticeably tall, thin, semi-muscular, dark hair, and hazel eyes. He has 3 tattoos. His left arm is a tribal sleeve. His right arm has Clare on his forearm and a wrap around his right muscle. Last known location was Ohio County on November 5th at 11 p.m. in a white or silver Subaru Outback. If you have any information or have seen one or all, please call Ohio County Dispatch 270-298-4411, Beaver Dam Police 270-274-7106, or Gallatin Police 615-451-3838. And there's also the 1-800-TBI-5. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to click on some other, there's another post. This one over here has some different pictures of Jake. He can tend to look different depending, facial hair. This is a good look at the tattoos that he has. I wonder if I can do this. No, I can't. Anyway, here's the Subaru. The license plate is 42 MY 10, so 42. I can't remember what M is. I think it's like Mary Yankee 10. It has a dent in the right rear driver's side. Another good picture of Amber. Let me see. I know there's another one that is good that I saw today. There's several. But the point I'm getting to is, go ahead and stop sharing. But I will put these. What I'm going to do is organize these and put them up on True Crime Sushi on Facebook. I'll put them on Twitter. I'll put them in the YouTube community section. I'll try to put links down in the description. Let me just write that down real quick so that I don't forget. Gotta find a page. I gotta stop writing it in order too. Okay, links or posters. Okay, so I'll get all those to you so we have them all in one place and we can look at them. But I want to make a couple points here. One, it's kind of crazy that hold on. Was I not sharing the screen? Oh my God, Truth and Lies. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you know what? That's the kind of person I am too. So thank you. If I'll just stop for a moment. If you guys decide you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to learn StreamYard, if you need a file for Valo, because I have almost everything, if you need any of that stuff, just ask me. I'll give it to you. Just like that. I have no problem. Well, I want people prosecuted in cases solved. So I'm not one of those people like, oh, I found it and it's mine. I'm not. Ask me. Don't spend hours trying to learn it again yourself. I'm very easy to reach. Amy at True Crime Sushi. I'll put it in the chat. Thank you, Truth and Lies. I really appreciate it. And I mean it. If there's something you need or you need help with or you have a question, reach out to me. So I'm gonna go. Oh, okay. Howdy Cat, you're in the backstage. Give me 1 second and then I'll get to you. So thank you. All right. So I think there's multiple things going on here. One is all these different agencies involved, and I don't think it's the most cohesive. And I don't think they're all aligned together. I just don't. I'd like to think they are, but I don't. There's too many numbers to call. They should be going in one central place. There's no Amber Alert. And I don't know why that is. I don't want to hear that they don't meet the criteria. After the criteria, who is going to get after you if you put out an Amber Alert for these kids? Who? Like, what's going to happen to you? Rules are meant to be broken. This is an emergency situation. Do it now, sort it out later. I am a huge fan. I have to tell you, it's no, I can't think of the name. I can't think of the term, but I don't ask permission. I ask forgiveness later. I've done that in my career a lot. I'm not considered a loose cannon by any means, but I'm definitely a risk taker. And if I think that you are going to stonewall me with SOPs and stuff like that, I'm going to go and do what's best. I'll take responsibility for it if it's not. But in this case, like, put out the alert. So on that note, hello, my sweet friend. How are you?
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm good. And I know you're super passionate about this. I saw you on Twitter today. I didn't have a chance.
Oh my God. I'm enraged.
So download.
Well, they did issue a Amber Alert in Michigan, finally. They've been missing since the 5th of November.
Yeah.
And I asked the mayor, I sent him a text, and I said, I've got some questions. Why didn't you call in the FBI card team? Why aren't you involving the FBI? Why aren't you assisting the TBI so they can send out an appropriate Amber Alert, etc.? And the response from one of the lieutenants to somebody today said there is, and I quote, no evidence of a relationship between Jacob Clare and Amber Clare. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the term relationship itself, and I'm going to be very polite and say that's disturbing.
Well, let me stop you there. So I've chosen not to be monetized. Okay. I have enough hours and subscribers. I have made the choice. It's no judgment on anybody else. So I don't hide behind, I mean, sometimes I'll say essay, but for the most, but that's like
well,
grooming me for other people's channels when I'm on
Yeah.
other people's channels. Here, you can say what it is.
Okay.
Because I don't like hiding behind the baby words to make it sound
No,
all nice and pleasant.
that is where the lieutenant's words.
Yeah.
And I said, that's disturbing because even in Kentucky, by the way, rural Kentucky, incest is illegal. And I said to him, I said, so ultimately you're saying a 16-year-old girl who, if she had run away down the block, you would have said, if you found her, you'd have taken her home. The parents had made it abundantly clear that he was to have no contact with her at any point because they discovered this a year ago, roughly. So I said, if you do this, what you're saying is you're calling the parents liars publicly, and you're insinuating that this 16-year-old girl was willing and now is aiding and abetting and complicit in this man's kidnapping. This has crossed 4 states already. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. And there probably are others. And if they put that damn Amber Alert out earlier, we might have a better read. And this guy's brother lives in Michigan, and he's a registered offender. Doesn't add much, help to it. But in no way, shape, or form, she's not free to make a decision to leave with a deviant man more than twice her age who is in a position of power.
Oh my God, you just took the words out of my mouth. I was just saying, a position of power and influence.
Yes, she can't make that decision.
She's a child.
So I don't know what the hell the Beaver Dam Police Department were thinking about, because it's hindered what the TBI has been able to do. And why didn't they if they didn't call the card team in, then they didn't think it was an abduction, meaning they think she's gone willingly to help him kidnap his son.
No.
Really?
No. I mean, because by all appearances, it seems like she ran off and they're going to be like mommy and daddy to little Noah. And that's a really disgusting, creepy situation. Noah has no choice in this. He's too young to make that decision. This is incest. This is child molestation. This is it's sexual abuse.
It's mental abuse. It's physical abuse. All of those things.
Yep, all of it rolled together. And I don't understand the hesitation, whether they did it yesterday or 2 hours ago with Amber Alerts and upgrading people, because here's the thing. We've got a guy that's 6'6" with visible tattoos on his, on his body, right? He's 6'6", so he looks like Lurch anyway. I love tall guys.
Yes.
My husband's a tall guy. He's not that quite that tall. He's driving a car that's probably going to make him look like he's driving like this when he gets in it because he's so tall, if he still has it. My understanding is that he is a smoker. And so at some point he will have to stop and buy cigarettes, things like that. He's traveling with a young girl who does not look like she's 25. She looks like a 16-year-old and a child, and they're acting like a couple. So I think they're pretty effing identifiable. Sorry, I'm getting really mad. Because why not put it out there and put it out everywhere? Why do we care about red tape and everything else right now? I don't care if they don't meet all 4 things on.
She does meet all 4 though.
Why? But what's the problem? Like, why isn't anybody like?
Because they've used the word voluntary.
No, it's not. I know, and I'm not arguing with you, but it's not.
No, it's absurd. The police said they wouldn't amend their statement, which would have assisted the TBI in immediately issuing the Amber Alert. And they said they wouldn't amend it because they didn't want to commit perjury. And I'm like, an amendment isn't perjury. So what you're telling me then is you think that she went willingly and she's now aiding and abetting a felon on their way to visit a registered offender in Michigan.
So this is interesting because one of my mods just pointed this out. She said, the other reason is because they said, oh, well, not an Amber Alert because it's parental abduction. And that's BS too, because I know I've heard of Amber Alerts that are parental abductions. Breaking Crime with Big E says they did the same thing with baby Evelyn. That's true. I don't know. Yeah, I see you, Rebred. I get
yeah,
the whole perjury thing. It's crazy.
it was insane.
Yeah, and this nobody left on their own accord. Nobody left except for Jacob.
That is correct.
Noah didn't do this. She's not capable. Amber isn't. It's confusing for me to talk about because it's Amber and then Amber Alert. I have 2 other people I want to add in here so that we can be like the
add on. I can step out. I just
no. I want you to stay as long as
no.
you're.
It's a big treat to learn how to work StreamYard.
Okay, you guys got to step up with the profile pictures.
Oh,
I'm just teasing you.
Well, I can do mine. I think.
I got 2 little heads and a black screen, but that's
Well,
okay.
hold on.
So, hey, Brad, and hey, Jade, how are you?
Oh, I didn't know I was in there.
Good.
Okay.
I want to thank you very much for covering this case. I put a request in earlier today.
Yes.
You got to excuse me. I'm not used to this, and I'm waiting to get my denture, so I sound funny, so it's hard to talk.
I think you're doing great, and it was I thanks to Ping because he sent me a heads up like somebody's asking, and we had to kind of figure out what you were talking about, but we figured it out real quick, and we got on it, and that's why we're all here. And I think you're doing amazing. So let's not be self-conscious. It's hard to be on camera. I get it. I struggle with it all the time, and people make fun of your voice and everything else. Whatever. I think you're wonderful. So
well, I think we need to do a shout out to what's his name? I want to call him Andy, but I don't think that's his name. Nerdy Addict.
Nerdy Addict.
Oh
yes.
If you guys don't follow Nerdy Addict on Twitter,
he's
who are you
divine.
following?
He's divine.
This
He
person
has
is
such
amazing.
a fantastic group of people working for him. I mean, it's just a huge team effort. There's lawyers, there's doctors, nurses.
I agree.
Insurance people. It just, and they get things done fast when they have to.
They do.
But I'm just really grateful you're covering this case. I'm in Michigan, and he is kind of far away from where I'm at, or suspected to be. He is suspected to be at. And I don't know if we've had any sightings this evening, or any up-to-date information right now. So I haven't gotten this invested in something in quite a while. And anyway, so if you have questions, I don't know the name of the other person that's with us down here next to me.
Well, I'm going to go through. Somebody's asking who all is on panel. So next to me is Kobe Cat, and then Jade, who is also Morning Dove in the chat. That's yourself. And then to your right, we have Rebread.
Hello.
Hello. So now everybody knows. I don't know why the display names aren't showing up. I need to kind of look at that. It should be doing that.
It's showing up like on my side, but I guess not.
Yeah, I have it turned on, but it just, I don't know. For some reason it's not working, and I'm not sure why. And
It's all right. My sailboat's half off, so, we're okay. I tried to change it, but.
That's okay. I'll just put like a rock in my face, and we'll be like, yeah, this is my little anxiety rock. All right, so Rebread, what do you have for us?
So my question was, okay, well, obviously you saw my comment about perjury, whatever that's what's mean. Was it the TBI who said they?
No, the Beaver Dam Police Department. The lieutenant.
So aren't they the ones who would charge that anyway? So that doesn't
Exactly.
make sense.
Exactly.
Like you're not going to charge yourself with perjury, and it's not like you're not allowed to like change your statement after you learn new information. So I think that's ridiculous.
Right.
And then I guess my other question would be how. So Kentucky, who was from Kentucky and who was from Tennessee?
That is a mess to figure out.
Well, Noah was in Tennessee. Aren't the parents in Tennessee?
The parent, yes.
Noah's parents were in Tennessee, but she was in Kentucky for some reason, and I don't know why.
Is Jake
Amber,
the dad of Noah?
Yep.
Yes. Jake is Noah's father, and he's also the uncle of Amber. And Amber, and since they've absconded, it has come to light via a letter or a couple letters she left behind, Amber left behind, and her cell phone, that Amber and Jacob were having a romantic relationship, a sexual relationship.
Romantic. Yeah.
He was grooming her.
It's not a relationship. What is another word that we can use? Because it's not a relationship.
Well,
he was grooming
it's
her.
preying. He's a predator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, there's no, but the Kentucky police, their words were, there's no evidence of a, quote, relationship between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, that's a really odd choice of word to use.
Well, if you're going to use that word, I think you should put inappropriate at least in front of it. Because that's not even a judgment, that's a statement.
I might have an unpopular statement, but like, now, I don't condone any of this, especially since they're related. But if she's 16, you know, I wasn't sick. I was 16 not that long ago. Well, it was like 12 years ago, but whatever. But like, she probably doesn't realize that she's doing anything like wrong, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Well, and that's why, yes, it does. And that's why it makes it even more disgusting on his part, because she doesn't have the emotional maturity to make decisions, because she is a child and she is in an inappropriate situation. Who's growling?
My dog.
It's like, is that my stomach?
Yep, that's my dog. The little one. She just growled. Yep, she did.
But this is the uncle, and I'm sure that, yes. So Amber E, maybe this will be impactful. Amber's uncle is either her mother or dad's brother. I don't know which one. I don't know which side of the family, but I mean, this is her uncle. We know.
Yeah. So
to hide
regardless. Yeah. But so then, what are the conditions for an Amber Alert? Because I thought you had to have a vehicle involved. I thought that was one of the main things.
It is, and we can pull that up.
They have to be under the age of 17, and they have to be under the age of 18.
That's two of them.
You have to know who the abductor is. You have to know the vehicle that they're in, and they have to be endangered.
Yeah. So
4.5. I'll give them 4.5 of those.
So basically, they say she ran away with him, but the parents, more than a year ago, had forbidden him to have any contact with that family. So basically, the Beaver Dam police have called them liars and are insinuating that she is committing a crime. She is aiding and abetting him and went willingly to do so.
I know.
She can't make that judgment. And even in Kentucky, you can't get married at the age of 16 without court approval.
What's the age of consent? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Hold
but
I did, but let me look. I think it's.
I struggle more with the fact that it's a familial relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, that too. It's like,
you know.
Well, there is an age of consent for that, but 16 is the age of consent for anyone. 16 is the age of consent for a sexual relationship.
Mm-hmm. Love My Charlie Faith says Jake thinks he's a motivational speaker on his YouTube channel. If you know that link, will you send it to me? Because I don't. I heard he had a YouTube channel. I didn't even start looking for it, but I would love to see that. Let's see. This is where, okay, so Insightful One says, this is where it gets touchy because teenagers who run away don't get Amber Alerts. As far as I'm concerned, and, not everybody's going to agree with me here, and I understand that. But if we're going to say that at 18 you're an adult, or until you're emancipated that you're that you are not an adult, that you're juvenile, then I don't care if you run away at 17 and a half. You're still considered a child. Like, if your parents don't know where you are and they're legally responsible, I'll turn it around. If your parents don't know where you are and you're legally responsible for your child, then you need to be found and you're missing and endangered.
As I said, if they found her down the block, if her parents reported her missing and they found her down the block, they'd return her home.
Well, let's do this. What if Jacob wasn't her uncle? What if she was their babysitter and she wasn't related? And the babysitter ran off with the husband and the kid.
Like that teacher and the student in Tennessee way back when.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be going after him.
So what the hell?
I don't know. I asked him to find me a statute, state or federal, that showed that she did not meet these criteria.
Mm-hmm.
To find it, show it to me. Because if those children undergo any more distress, abuse, or worse during this time, because they've let a lot elapse before any Amber Alerts were issued, I said, then he can kiss his elected position goodbye, and the suits will start flying in.
Yeah.
And they will. Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. As far as I have seen today, again, I could be wrong. I know you're going to correct me because I talked to Hobie Cat outside of this quite a bit, and the FBI is not involved in this, right?
Nope.
Why? Because the minute a child goes missing, and they're missing in danger, that's like they're in like Flynn. So if somebody is like, "Oh, we got this handled," or there just seems to be a lot of like missteps. And what is today's date? Today is
15. So it's been 10 days.
10 days. 10 days, you guys. With a guy that looks like Lurch because he's 6'6", his teenage niece / girlfriend, which is disgusting. They're like, "Oh, we're running off because we're in love, and we're gonna raise little Noah as our own." He has some habits that are gonna force him to like replenish. He's driving a car that's banged up. He can pull the stickers off, but he can't pull the dent out overnight. So he has tattoos, visible tattoos. They're identifiable. What are you waiting for?
Yeah,
that's what no one can figure out.
They're all over his body.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how long.
His shoulder, all his arms, and big tribal tattoos. I mean, it's like, his height alone makes him stick out. How many 6'6" people do you see? I bet you every time that man goes into the store, somebody says, "Do you play basketball?" He's probably lived with it his own, like, "How do you find pants that long? That's why I wear shorts." Yeah, I mean, but there's 3 people traveling together. They're a little motley crew, like somebody is going to pick them up, but not if
nobody knows.
Thank you.
If the Amber Alert had been issued earlier, it would have been on the state billboards in other states earlier because they had a direction of travel, but it wasn't. Michigan's the first state to issue it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I read a bunch of stuff, like, oh, people thought he was living in the mountains and they'd gone camping and all this other stuff. Even so, if you're just hearing about this today and you go on the internet and you're trying to get the backstory, you're going to find a lot of stuff that isn't true. You're going to find, this was my frustration with it. I'll just be honest. There were so many incomplete articles 10 days after these children go missing. And it's just like, oh, Noah and Amber are missing. They're with a family member. It looks like it's his daughter and son. No updates, no where they're heading, no picture of a car. Some of the articles don't have pictures of them. It's like, what are we doing here? Do we need to We need to get together with Truth or Lies and a bunch of other YouTube channels, and we're just gonna travel around and tell people this is how you put your kid in NamUs. This is what should be on your poster. Here's where you put it. I mean, seriously, what is going on?
I don't understand it from a legal perspective. I don't. And those were my fundamental questions. Why wasn't the FBI card team called? Why have you not called the FBI in to help you?
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten no answer to any of those questions and they've, of course, stonewalled the TBI in some regards.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Clearly, a child has been abducted in another state, even if it is custodial interference, which is the technical term.
Mm-hmm.
They've been abducted in another state and clearly crossed through your state. So, why do you not have the FBI involved?
I don't know. I'm asking the same thing. You know, Truth or Lies brought up something, and she said they don't give a crap because it's a parent. And I'm going to translate that into what I think it means, because I think I speak. I don't speak it. I think I understand law enforcement bullshit. And so the translation on that is like, this is just a petty argument between a mom and a dad, and they'll work it out. His dad, it's okay. That's not what this is.
Not when you're 4 states away, it's not.
No.
And that makes it federal.
Well, he's beyond his custodial time, or it's not even his custodial time.
No.
It's visitation. He doesn't have custody rights. He has visitation, and he has a temporary order, and it sounds to me like that temporary order was getting ready to end.
And that's probably why he ran. Were they supervised visits, or have they not really said it?
No. I think what happened is there was a lot of stuff against him, and the court said, okay, well, until we figure it out, you can have the kid. I shouldn't say the kid. You can have Noah every other weekend, and it was unsupervised. And I don't think Amanda Ennis, Noah's mom, was very pleased with that based on some other things. And he is on his Facebook page ranting about, you know, how he has these rights and this is unfair and the court system isn't fair to fathers, which I will tell you, I kind of agree with that, but I don't agree with him in this case. And so he took off. But when he took off, sorry, I've got something itching me down my neck. When he took off, he didn't just take off with his own kid. He took off with his niece who he'd been molesting. Because that's what it is. It's not a relationship. He's been molested. No. So, and it's not
how long it had been going on.
What? I'm sorry, I was over talking.
I wonder how long that had been going on. Him and the.
I don't know.
For quite a while, I would think, because the parents a year ago had said no more contact.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot contact this family.
And they're sneaking around.
My other question was is it definitely sure that the notes were written by her, by Amber? Okay.
Yes, they're in her handwriting.
Okay.
Amy, this is Jade. I'm going to step off.
Okay.
I really appreciate you covering this.
Well, thank you so much. Okay, I'll let you go and drop back in sometime, okay?
Okay. I watch you every time you're on, so.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I just
Jade.
don't talk.
If somebody else wants to come up, I'm happy to step down.
I'll put the link up again, but you're good right now.
Okay.
Unless you need.
No, I'm fine. Just boot me when you want to.
Oh, I will. I'll be like the dog show.
Same, yeah.
Oh, you have your kitty. Oh.
He wanted to join the panel.
Is it true that all orange kitties are males? Is that true?
It's calico cats are all females.
I've never had a cat, so I don't know.
This one is from Afghanistan.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, you're exotic.
He's super special.
Yeah, my mom worked out there and she found him. So.
Oh.
Wow.
He's very handsome.
I'm curious to know about the brother that lives in Michigan, if that's where they're actually headed.
Yeah.
Because that endangers both children, again, on another level.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious about that.
I wonder though if it's actually not going to end that badly though, because if they are trying to, go start their own little weird, odd family, quote unquote, like, do you think, is it possible that they might, sorry, sorry, that, they won't hurt Noah? Like, it might end okay if they find them. Does that make sense?
If they intercept them, yes. I don't know how Hobie Cat feels about this, but my personal thing is, like, when the opinion is when tensions get high, the walls start closing in, and you have this kind of this love relationship that they think they have, and this running away and everything's going to ruin their perfect life. I think this is when, I'm so sorry, but I think this is when family annihilators are born. And so yes and no. I just think when it gets tense and there's a lot of emotion involved, like not just the emotion of like your child, but the emotion of the fantasy of running away together or whatever, and you get those scenarios where you drive the family off a cliff.
No, you're correct.
And that scares the Jesus out of me, because we've seen it happen before. And this is why the FBI needs to be involved, because they know how to deal and negotiate those kind of reactions. I'm going to add Jay into the chat while we're here.
And their resources are far greater for this type of thing.
Yeah.
But don't they have to be invited in? Isn't that part of Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I asked them today. Why have you not asked the FBI in?
Right. Well, because I think they have so many agencies, they think they're like they're already covered, but they're not.
This is Beaver Dam, Kentucky police. I mean, it's like ridiculous. The Kentucky State Police. It's like, what? The first thing you do when children are involved is invite the card team in.
Mm-hmm. I really want to get T-shirts made that say "There's no room for ego in law enforcement." I mean, honest to God. Half the time when I read stories like this, it's just because it's like, oh, we can handle it ourselves. Or we have the best resources available. We don't need, or what can they offer us that we can't? Well, then if it's a no harm, no foul situation, if you feel like that.
I agree. The FBI is not going to take the case from them if they don't need to. They have enough, on their plate as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But these people are specifically trained, the card team is, in it. That's why it's the rapid, child rapid abduction, deployment. That's all they're trained. And see, this is right. AR is correct. The FBI should now just get involved because it has crossed state lines, and they very well may. Michigan may invite them in. And
hopefully so. You know what? If you have, if I don't want to talk about anything like life-threatening, but if I tore some tendons in my ankle, am I going to go to my general practitioner, or am I going to go to like an osteopath, or am I going to go to a podiatrist? You know what I mean? Like, the FBI is the specialist. It's all they do.
This is the one thing that they are truly trained in.
Mm-hmm.
And really, really good at. It's very strange how this is played out. It really is. I don't understand the Kentucky aspect of it. Don't.
Kathy Control says, do they have cell phones? Can I ping them? So Amber left her cell phone behind. I believe he left his behind too. Jacob did too.
I feel like they might slip up at some point.
With any luck, they're not listening to the news, and they're headed to the brother's house where the FBI will head them off. I don't know. Somebody got a picture of that car. Where was it? On a Michigan highway? Wasn't it today?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I said, the law enforcement's in a good situation with these people, because you have a tiny little boy, a 16-year-old girl, a man who is like, on stilts because he's so tall, and he's got visible tattoos, and he's trying to shove his body into the car like an accordion because he must be like this. And,
Oh my god.
you know, I mean, like, really, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just saying, like, this is something you're going to see. This is something that you're going to see, and it's going to stick out, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I just saw these people. I mean, look at, she's 5'7". She's 5'7", and she's 16. She looks like a 16-year-old. So if you see 6'6" guy with tattoos with somebody a foot shorter than him that looks like his daughter and not his girlfriend, and they have a little baby with them, because I mean, I'm sorry, but for me at 3, they're still babies. You know, he's only 3
I have
foot.
a question.
Sure.
At 3 or whatever, he would be like, would he be potty trained yet or not? I don't have kids.
I got lucky in my Just Add water situation. I came in like right as that was done, so I don't know either.
So, like,
I would imagine so.
they would have to,
I don't have any kids either.
I know you guys in the. I think at 3 you're potty training. You're not probably still wearing like oopsie pants. I don't know what you call them. But so Love Charlie Face said my girl was 2, but boys take longer. And Cypher One says it depends on the child, though a lot are trained by 3.
But if they're in the car for a really long time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. AR says being away from his routine might set him back on potty training. That's true. Mine had that when he was like 4. We went on vacation because he wasn't sleeping in his own bed. Like all of a sudden we were like, no. So yeah. Okay. About 2.5. All right. So we got all the people without kiddos. I'll try
to maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was gonna say they might have to like stop for rations.
He's gonna be in distress though, because he lives with his mom usually. They're moving around now. His world is probably very chaotic. So yeah. He will.
The child knows.
Wait, I just saw a comment from Jesse. What if she's pregnant?
Ew.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry for my Tourette's. The ew.
No, that was a justified ew. Like,
yeah.
She could
scary. I mean, he can't marry her in any state. So, what did the Kentucky police actually think he was going to do?
I don't know.
I'm not sure on that one. But didn't Kathy want to come up?
Well, I told her that she was welcome to. She thinks she's going to get my channel shut down, and I told her she would.
I doubt it.
So, but yeah, Kathy, you're welcome. Kathy's amazing. I talk to her like off the air a lot, but she's shy, and I don't want to pressure her either.
Well, I admit that I'll pop off if she does.
If you can film me, when was the child abducted and when was the Amber Alert sent out?
November 5th is the abduction date, so it's been 10 days.
And Michigan did an Amber Alert today.
And then the 7th. Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, today.
Tennessee did an endangered child alert on the. They were reported. They went missing the 5th, but weren't they not reported till the 6th or something like that?
So here's where I think the confusion starts. They went missing on the 5th, but mom, Amanda Ennis, didn't know this until like the 7th when she got that phone call saying from the family, from Amber's family, saying, like, hey, we went in her bedroom this morning. Apparently Amber had tried to run away like the night before too. There's some murkiness there that I'm not sure about. I shouldn't judge, but I'm going to. I'm going to right now. If my kid is maybe having a relationship not having relationships. She's being molested by an uncle and thinks she's in love with him. And she's trying to run away from my house. I'm going to be sleeping on her windowsill like a cat. She's not getting out of that room. And my husband's going to be on the other side of the door, so she better learn how to crawl through the vent. But they went into her room the next morning, and she was gone. And she had left notes. And then they called Amanda Ennis, who is Noah's mother, and said, hey, like, our kid's with Jacob. And, of course, Amanda Ennis is like, holy crap. So is Noah. And she starts blowing up Jacob's phone, and Jacob's not answering. He's not responding via social media. She has no way to contact him. And so that is like the day that it's reported, but technically they would have gone missing on like the 5th, 6th, right? That night.
Yeah. So they were, and Tennessee put out an endangered child alert on the 7th, the TBI did.
Right.
But they couldn't do whatever it was they needed to do with the other girl because that was in Kentucky.
Right. Hey, Kathy. Can you hear me?
Oh, I love that picture.
I know.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You're funny. I know. So many little screens ping says. It reminds me, if we get enough up here, we can play Brady Bunch.
Wait a minute.
I get to be Alice in the middle.
Who wants to be Marsha?
Marsha.
Sure, Jan.
That would be fun.
What's going on, Kathy? Why are you so afraid that you're going to get me kicked off?
Booted.
Are you that angry about the case? Are you as angry as I am about this?
I have an Elmom mouth.
Oh,
excellent.
It's working. Okay, I can't tell if it's working or not.
It's working. We can hear you.
Yeah, go L-Mom on us. Come on. I'm waiting.
Oh. Okay.
It's okay. I mean, I try not to say certain
You don't
words.
want that. No, I did family law for 30 years. And first of all, there's no reason there shouldn't be an Amber Alert for the damn father without custody.
Amen.
Go on.
Go on.
What about traveling with his niece, who he,
I'm going to be an honest person here and tell you.
Wait. Hold on one second, Kathy. I know what's going on. I know what you're struggling with because I can hear the feed in the background. If you pause your YouTube, you don't have to turn the volume down, just pause it.
Wait. All right, let me pause it. Okay, is that better?
Yeah, it should be much better. It wasn't really, I don't think anybody could really hear it where it was distracting, but I know I've been there and it's distracting for me because I keep hearing things like, I'm saying stop in the past and I'm in the future and I can't keep it straight.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been brave enough to come on to someone's YouTube.
Well, I'm glad you're here. All right, so I interrupted you when I heard the feedback. We were talking about the uncle traveling with his niece, and apparently she thinks she's in love, and they're a couple.
Okay, from what I know, and I have a law degree, but I never took the bar, and I haven't done anything with it for like 15 years. So put that into perspective there.
You're probably better than all of us here. But
No, Algo's got it.
Sorry. Didn't mean to forget about him.
But I promise you're in good company. So,
but, just from what I know, the molestation part of it he's going to be in big trouble, even if she is 16.
Mhm.
And she has permit. She may consent all she wants. She doesn't know any better. And if she's been being groomed, and the parents said a year ago, stay away from our daughter,
Mhm.
he's in trouble there. And then the two of them taking the 3-year-old, that should be an Amber Alert right there.
From the get-go, out of the gates.
He does not, from what I've seen and read, I just heard about this today. He does not have legal custody.
No, he doesn't have custodial rights. He has a temporary visitation schedule every other Friday until they put together another one. But he is not. Like my husband has 50% custody, right? And like every once in a while, we have to go down to the school because we don't get something or whatever. And we have to say we're not visitation parents; we're custodial parents. 50%. So like. He has none of that. He has this unsupervised visitation, and it was a temporary thing.
Well, my son has 100% legal custody of his son with visitation. Whoa. Is that me? Anyway, with legal, he's got legal custody of his son, 100%. And the mother has visitation. But she is not allowed to take his son away anywhere without my son's permission.
No, it was me.
Oh, well, don't do that. And I had 50-50 legal and physical custody with my ex-husband. So that way there wasn't a problem with it.
Right.
But if he does not have legal custody and control,
I'm on a delay.
That's parental abduction, and that's illegal.
Yeah, it is. You're on a delay. Okay, go ahead, Rebret. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, since she's also with them, on top of the fact that she's like the inappropriate relationship, is she still technically part of the kidnapping of the child? So
I personally think so, but that's a gray area because of her age. Because in some states, like in New York where I live, at 16, a kid can move out and go on their own without having to file emancipation papers. My 2 stepdaughters both walked out of the house the day they turned 16 and said, "Bye, see ya." And there was not a thing we could do, but we are legally responsible for them until they're 18.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, and that's the kind of the rub here, because you're going to hold me personally responsible for a child until they're 18 unless they're emancipated. But when they leave my house without my permission, and I know that, they like swiped a bottle of alcohol or took my car or whatever, the police are like, "Oh, the kids, they run away. It's not a big deal. They're 16. It is a big deal because I'm effing responsible for them. They're not 18. You can't have it both ways.
Well, I live in stupid state, so apparently you can, because my 2 stepdaughters could move out on their own at 16 and do whatever they wanted to do, but if they did something wrong, we were held responsible.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what
not running away, leaving, saying, "Bye, we're moving out."
Right.
We don't want to live here anymore.
Right. So, yeah, and I've sort of been through that. My husband has 2 older children, and when Gavin's an adult now and he knows I talk about him, so this is okay. But when he was like 17, he decided that he was tired of living in the house with his little brother and sister, and he thought that we should just buy him a car, and because his friend got a car bought for him, and he was going to go live at his friend's house. And we were like, no, you're not. You live here. You're 16. And we called the police. The police are like, well, you know, just go over there. It's okay. Like, I mean, no, because I'm still responsible for everything he does. Or I'm not. His father is. But you know what I'm saying? So I get it. It's a messed up thing. So there is a gray area there's a gray area whether or not she's complicit in kidnapping, not for me, but for most people, because what we have to establish first is she an adult? No, she's 16. Is she in a predatory situation? Yes. So she probably doesn't look at it like kidnapping because he's telling her like it's my kid and it's unfair. And so I had to take him. And that's what children do. And what people with conduct disorders do. They make excuses for their poor choices, trying to justify them.
So if you took out the relationship and say she just went with them, there was no, like, just hypothetically, like if there was no inappropriate relationship, then would she, like, trying to figure out how to ask this,
would she still be like culpable
for like helping abduct the child?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do believe so. Although
It's
you
just
could
like-
say, so you're saying, okay, if they were involved in an inappropriate, if he wasn't sexually abusing her, okay,
right.
I'm just going to say that. He wasn't, but he was still her uncle. Could she be held culpable? I would say yes and no, because he's still in a position of power and authority.
But if he's not technically, legally not allowed to be in her presence, like how the same thing
that falls on him.
Like,
unless
is there an
she
order?
is part of the plan to take the child and run, whether they're having the relationship or not.
Right. If she knows that he's not supposed to have that child and it's illegal, then she is complicit in my opinion, to a certain extent. Now, I think there's extenuating circumstances here because you're dealing with an emotionally immature child who thinks she's an adult, thinks she's in love, and with her uncle, and I mean, she's invested. Like this letter, like the little parts that you can read, I'll find it and put that. Actually, I don't have to find it because I have it right now, but not where I can pick it up on the screen. But she's very invested in this. She wants to live a life with him, and she just thinks that everything's hunky dory and this is all cool. So there's a little bit of a question about whether she has a complete understanding of where a complete understanding of the enormity of the situation. Like,
I doubt she does.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm willing to bet she does not realize the trouble that everybody is in right now. This is, I'm going to go off with my lover. It doesn't matter that he's my uncle, and we're going to raise his kid, and maybe we'll have some more. And life's going to be great.
And everybody's been so mean to him. He can't get anybody to listen to him. This is the only way to do it. Because that's what he tells her, because that's what people that don't follow the law do. They make excuses.
That's called grooming.
Yep. Well, and they also, they make excuses for, I don't know.
They make them feel like the most important person in the world, and like it's like total. It sounds like every one of my ex-boyfriends, none of whom were my uncles, by the way, just to be clear. But like,
sorry.
Sorry.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Chris isn't my uncle either. Anybody else married to their uncle? Just so we get it out of the way. Hi, this is True Crime Station. I'm Amy, and I'm not married to my uncle.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Nope, never.
I'd rather marry my dog. Sorry.
You.
Did I say that out loud?
Hello, Difficult Research. It's good to see you.
Hey, Crusher, darling.
So yeah, sorry about that. Joking about.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
Sometimes you have to. That's like.
I'm a firm believer in it. I know historically I've gotten some flack for giggling and things like that, but it has its moments, and I'm sorry. I heard banjos and Rebread said it, and so it was funny.
Yeah, I heard them too.
It was funny. It was funny.
But see, I'm being good. Because I'm monitoring my language at least.
Mark Klein says he's not married to his uncle either. Good for you, Mark Klein. Keep that gene pool, sparkly. Don't let it get all mucked up. Ay. Oh. Well, I guess I'm a little hopeful because if they believe they're heading to Michigan and they're trying to be proactive with that, they're like, Ree said and some other people have said, there's a possibility they'll be able to intercept them. I hope that happens. I again, disgusted that it's been 10 days. I read stuff all the time, but I didn't I saw this story 2 days ago, but I didn't really even look at it. It wasn't until somebody in our chat was like, you need to look at this. So this is me looking for true crime stories all the time.
Well, you're really good.
I have one for you.
You get on them as fast as they get to you, even before I get you the rest of the information.
I try.
I appreciated that, by the way, and I missed that live. So, when you said if I wanted to own it, yeah, I did. But you normally come on after this old lady is sound asleep.
I'm working on that. I'm trying to find different times. It's funny, like YouTube will give, they'll provide me with limited demographics and some information, but it seems like the people that are in my chat are active on YouTube between 6 and 8. That's like a really hot time for you guys to be on here. And then it's like from 10 to midnight. So I'm kind of playing around with those times. And personally, I kind of like this time spot because when I'm done, I'm done, and then I get to spend family time and I'm not like crawling into bed or like, oh crap, I have to be up in 4 hours or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that I won't do the later ones too. And you can always catch it on the replay. So, and you're welcome for that. And thank you for the story idea. And for all of you guys, like I say this all the time, and there are at least 3 people up here with me right now that can, vouch for this. I like to make personal connections with you guys, and I like it when you share stories with me. You're not bothering me. I, try to respond as fast as I can, because it tells me what you want to talk about. Sometimes I'm not going to want to talk about it. I'll be honest. I mean, there's certain things where I'm like, no way. I'm not like, I have an issue with cannibalism. Like, no, you're not going to hear me like doing too many of those.
Oh, come on, Amy.
I know. But I mean, there's like 1 or 2 I've done and they're fine. But like some of it just gets to be like, I can't let my mind go there. I just can't. And children. And that's the other thing. Children are just, they're hard for everyone. They're very hard for me. I take it to bed with me at night. I internalize it, and I have to have my own boundaries and keep myself healthy that way. But this is an important story, and I think that the chances of recovering Noah and Amber safely are very high. But I think I don't know where the weakest link is. I don't know if it's all the different agencies. I don't know if it's competition. Somebody wants to get the caller. I don't know. I'm using like these terms like, I feel like I'm the caller.
They should all be working together
states
rather than against each other.
Right. And call in the FBI. Call in the FBI. Again, if you have a heart condition, you don't go to your dentist, right? You go to a cardiologist.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
I sure hope not.
You guys.
I'll shut up.
Maybe I should say, if you have a heart condition, you don't go to your plastic surgeon. Now, if you say you don't, then I know what kind of crowd I'm dealing with. So, go away. Behave. I'm gonna start getting my monkey darts out and just like all over. Like, I don't know what happened over there. Oh. All right. I think we're gonna call it a wrap. I didn't realize we've been on about an hour and a half, and it was a good discussion because I didn't get like super antsy. So thank you. And I love having you guys up on panel. It helps. It helps for the replay too, for people to hear. So let's do our jobs as netizens. I freaking hate that word, but you know, I'm gonna start using it as netizens and keep Jennifer Kessie's story out there. Keep this story out here. Keep questioning. Share the photos. Share the files. Somebody. I mean, I'm gonna go back to what Drew Kesse said. You know, the answers are out there.
I did have one question because I know that there were 2 podcasts for Jennifer Kesse because I first heard about it with the one that's like not a real word, unconcluded or whatever. And then there was the Fox one. Which one was the Fox one? Was the one that they were talking about?
Yes. So the Fox one, this reporter, this investigative journalist, has Jennifer's everything that's been released in her case file and found a way to get things that even her family couldn't get previously, and has dug deep and like knocked on people's doors. And she's I'm not going to say she's discovered information so much as there was information that just wasn't released. Like the public, like I live here in Orlando, and I didn't know that her car had been reported swerving through a parking lot that morning. I didn't know that there was like a face print on the hood of the car where maybe somebody was slammed down and on the hood of their car and then thrown inside. These are details that weren't released. What we saw was some grainy video of a guy in front of an iron gate every night, and that was it. Yeah. Sorry. Hold on.
Well, a lot of this stuff isn't reported. We've got a case that. Where did Amy go? We lost it. Amy. Oh, there she is. She's
I
coughing.
have no clue.
There she is. There's a case out here, and I'll just real quick. My husband's cousin's daughter was murdered. It was mentioned in the news, and not another word has been said about it for 2.5 years because the person that we think did it, his family is really big in this area and has sat on the story.
Yeah.
So the more things that can be brought out, I'll send you that one, Amy. I have like no information on it though. But you know, things like that, the more YouTube gets it out, the more these people are going to be found and punished, and you know.
Well, we just have to keep talking about it, get new people interested all the time. You know, because it's like anything. It's like a fresh pair of eyes. So like maybe I've been looking at Jennifer Kesse for 15 years, and somebody comes in tomorrow and looks at her case and sees something totally different that breaks it open. Or, you know, maybe they ran into her the night before and she said something weird to them, but because they didn't know him, even know that she disappeared, it wasn't on their radar, you know? I am so sorry. Oh my goodness.
Unfortunately, there's too many of these cases.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna read the last sentence of Drew Kesse's letter again, and then we're gonna call it a night. He said, we thank you for your continued support for our efforts and this campaign. Together we will bring Jennifer home. Thank you for believing in our challenge, and as a community and country, we can and we will find our missing loved ones together, where the public holds the answers and the ability to find them all. It's the truth. And it's the same, like we're going to find Noah safely. Hopefully we'll find Amber safely. Everybody gets the help they needed. Jacob goes to a dark place where cockroaches eat his eyebrows at night. And, you know, and Jennifer's parents have some answers.
They're all in our prayers.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you all for being on panel. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because now
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Amy, for letting me actually do this.
Thank you. Thank you. And you better all come back. Okay. And I feel so bad when I have to click your little heads off. So
Will do.
sorry.
Thank y'all.
Just click me away.
I'll click my own, so don't worry about it.
Thank you.
I don't know how to click my own.
Oh. Okay. Good night, everybody. Good night, Julie Marshall. Hey, Polly the Primate. Yeah, clicking heads like I'm squishing you and squishing you. It makes me feel bad. I don't like it. It's so final. As always, if you well, there's my name. How did that just happen? Weird. Okay. I started to say, as always, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Hit the notification bell so that you never miss a live. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down. Chat in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. Don't have Facebook groups, so that's where we talk about things. Anytime you want to come up on panel, just ask. I love it. I like it to be interactive. Thank you to Ping, my good friend Ping. Thank you to Insightful One. Thank you to Jesse, Diane, Ryan. Everybody that joined us tonight. It's appreciated. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully at 5:30. Today I was a little spazzy, so I was late. Thank you for working with me on that. It's just who I am. It happens from time to time. And I guess until then, I will see you all on the flip side. Good night, everybody. Thank you.